Hey guys, Deadset here. There was a nice XP buff throughout the weekend for all of us Diablo players and a nice rainy Sunday evening where I live, so I thought one of the most frequent questions I get is, what difficulty should I farm in? Is normal really the place to gear up? Even though I made a video about split farming on normal, a lot of people still question the effectiveness of lower difficulties for gearing up. So I sat down and made the following test. I dedicated Sunday evening to farming Torment 4 bounties, which is a relatively high difficulty that is still a bit prohibitive for most players, especially if you're not running a flavor of the month spec or you're struggling a bit with your Crusader if you're playing my class. It was challenging and engaging gameplay. I had to be on my toes constantly, positioning properly and avoiding as many deaths as I can. Act bosses were a 2-minute fight every single time, and in general I was in some sort of danger of dying with the majority of the bounties. And honestly, it felt great. It was challenging to me as a gamer. Every bounty felt exciting and harrowing with elites and affixes that tested different weak points of my build. In the end, I emerged not only understanding the strengths and shortcomings of my build better, but also 20 Heredric caches and 15 legendaries richer. The 20 Heredric caches, all of them from Torment 4 farming, contain the grand total of 2 legendaries, which falls in line with several other tests that I've read by other players, which average out on 1 legendary per 10 caches. That brings my legendary count for the day to 17 legendaries, the majority of which were found from fights with elites and opening chests while adventuring. I took regular breaks and fooled around a bit during farming, power leveled a friend at some point, etc. So I'll place my pure farming time at somewhere around 6 hours of straight bounties. This averages out at a legendary every 20 minutes. Coupled up with the challenge of the whole experience, I would say playing on a high Torment was very rewarding for me. The 2 cache legendaries were Mad Monarch's Scepters, which are some of the best one-handers in the game, and as a quick side note, they are specific to Act 1, so you'll need to farm there to get them. Kassar's Retribution is an interesting Crusader one-hander, which I assume will contribute to a ranged kiting sort of build. An alright Fulminator for whenever I get to a lightning spec. A unique Templar relic that makes him immortal, which is a neat little addition for him. A Blackthorn Belt, sadly not a very good roll, and the rest were just average legendaries. Still pretty damn good for several hours of fun. Today I made the opposite experiment. Even though I'm overgeared for the difficulty, I did split farming runs on normal with a full party for about 2 to 2.5 hours, once again with breaks and not playing super seriously. I collected exactly 20 caches once again from bounties and 3 legendaries dropped from chests and fighting elites. Opening the caches once again netted me the average of 2 legendaries. This also confirms the information released by Blizzard that difficulty does not affect the quality of the caches themselves, outside of course of the Torment specific legendaries. The caches are just as likely to drop you a legendary item on normal as it will be on any other difficulty. As you can see, I got a pretty bad Sanguinary Vambrace, another OK Mad Monarchs, and a very decent Mempo roll. The legendaries are just as good as the Torment ones. The huge difference between the 2 runs was, of course, in the number of legendaries that I got while doing the bounties themselves. However, taking time into consideration, and time is an extremely important part of the equation, this brings me to the only relevant question you will need to ask yourself to know if it's worth it to farm normal or torment bounties. The question is, does farming speed matter to you more than engaging gameplay? What you win by playing normal is immense farming speed, the ability to be carefree about survivability or even paying any attention to the game, and potentially get great loot per hour if you can sustain your interest, which I cannot do because it tends to put me to sleep. What you win by playing on Torment and constantly striving to up your Torment levels is better experience, and I'm not talking simply about your Paragon farming, but experience with your build and your gear. What you will gain from Torment is the knowledge about the upper limits of your character. Is your DPS enough? Are your toughness and healing sufficient? Are you hitting or moving fast enough? And this will be important when Blizzard introduces competition in the forms of ladder and tiered rifts. When that time comes, you will have the upper hand of knowing how to build, what to build, and the proper playstyle for your character. In conclusion, I would only consider playing on normal worth it if you are not geared to handle Torment 1. Playing with a character that's good enough for Torment on normal will only serve to greatly diminish your enjoyment and interest in the game, since it will neither require any effort on your part, nor will it test the strengths of the good items that you've already farmed. I hope you didn't mind my little rant on the subject, and that I inspired you to strive and reach ever higher in Torment difficulty. As always, if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate your subscription to the channel, and I hope to see you guys again here on YouTube and at Twitch TV/Deadset, where you'll see me maining Crusader and testing out things live. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time.